December is here, and that means it's time to rotate the wardrobe. Hi everyone, I'm Leandra. Welcome or welcome back. I like to refer to these segments as the changing of the garb whenever I get rid of my previous seasonal things to make room for the new seasonal things. This is my third season to try this little experiment where I essentially am creating a capsule wardrobe for myself. I think it's been a successful experiment. I started in May 2024 and ran through the end of August, so that was like a spring-summer, so that was 4 months. And then I switched over to autumn for September, so that was only 3 months. And I think for this one, I'm going to run from December through the end of March, because I really feel like 3 months just is not long enough to really get the most wear out of my stuff. And also it's a lot of work to rotate out the wardrobe. And 3 months just seems like it's really quick. Like I feel like I just did this. So I'm thinking 4 to 5 months is probably what I'm aiming for in the future when I do these little seasonal changes. I am going to be talking extensively throughout this video, so if you don't like the talking, skip this one, because the whole thing is just talking. Although I will say that for this time around, I've sort of made notes to guide me in what is a monologue or a self-discussion, so that it's not just aimless rambling. So without further ado, let's jump in and get this wardrobe changed over. This is the closet as it looks, leaving autumn, heading into winter. Lots, if you didn't watch the previous video, lots of reds, oranges, yellows, browns, all the beautiful fall colors. And I will say that I began this experiment to really begin to make the most of my wardrobe. Because when we have too many choices, we get overwhelmed and we start to just focus in and wear just a few things. So I started this based on the 80-20 rule that we use 20% of our stuff 80% of the time. And I thought, well, why not just pare down to 20% so that I'm wearing 100% of my stuff 100% of the time. But I have found that even paring down to this small seasonal wardrobe, there were still a handful of pieces that never got worn even once. And I might keep them for another season. And if in another year, another turning over of the wardrobe, they still don't get worn, that is an indicator that it's something that I should probably get rid of. But I did find this to be far more efficient, far easier to get ready in the morning because I have like 4 or 5 work dresses, 4 or 5 casual things, my work at home clothes, my going out clothes, you know, everything was just way more pared down so it's easy to make a decision. I think it's been a successful experiment. And like I mentioned, 3 months is not really long enough for me that I feel like I'm ready to change over again, mostly because this takes a lot of prep work. I'm gonna go ahead and get started while I'm talking just to move this along. About 2 years ago, I think it was, we had a can of gasoline explode in our storage shed, and now everything that stays in that shed for more than 5 minutes smells like gasoline. So anytime I take clothes out, I have to wash everything because it smells like gasoline. So that was a little bit hard to do the prep work on when you have to, I mean, it's like you're talking 3 or 4 loads of laundry to wash everything just to put it in the closet. I did actually save up about a week and a half worth of stuff that I've worn, and I just washed it yesterday and folded it up. I didn't even bother hanging it up because it's going straight into storage, so I'm learning. The prep work is done. So there's a couple of topics that I want to talk about today while we're doing this changeover. Number 1 is my efforts at spending less. I really have wanted to get my spending in check, and I was hoping that it would be very simple to do. I have had good success in the past getting other bad habits in check, but this was tough. And I think it's tough because I so love clothes. I always have. When I was a very little girl, this has just been one of my favorite things, is beautiful clothes, vintage clothes, experimenting with fashion, experimenting with style. So it's really hard to let this go. And I have to change my way of thinking because really, I can still love clothes. I can still love fashion. What I need to do is stop constantly getting new things. That's the problem. I was hoping to do a low buy this year. I actually think I'm going to keep this. This is one of my most worn work dresses, so I think I'm going to keep this out through the winter. So while I was hoping that I could just do a low buy or a no buy year, I really couldn't. I did not have the foundational habits laid to just jump in like that. And I kind of liken that when you're trying to start something new is like, I'm going to start running, so tomorrow I'm going to run a marathon. No, you have to start by getting the workout clothes, putting it in your schedule. I mean, we think of like, oh, well, you just have to start with jogging and work up to running. But really, there's a series of small habits that you have to put into place before you can do the bigger things. I read a book this year called Atomic Habits by James Clear. In it, he discusses putting those small habits in place to reach a goal. So running really isn't the habit, it's the goal. The habits would be getting up and getting dressed, you know, driving to the place where you're going to run, things like that. So once you put those habits in place, the goal becomes the natural outcome. So my first step really was to track my spending, which I have been meticulous about this year. I have not been successful at low buy, as far as like a low buy year, but I have been very successful at writing everything down. And then for myself, I mean, you can't change something that you can't acknowledge. So this has been for me acknowledging not only what I'm spending, but I've been tracking how I was feeling on the day that I spent it. So like, I noticed patterns. I noticed that I tend to not shop very much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, at the end of the day, I'll come home and shop. Friday, if I'm off work, that's my shopping day, and usually I will buy on Saturday or Sunday. And acknowledging those patterns, recognizing those patterns, and that the fact that this is the result of me being stressed and or like rewarding myself for the work week's over, means that I can create a plan to have something better to do. I think more than that, I needed some guidance on what else I could do. Because I love this so much, I've never really thought of a hobby that I would want to do as much as this. And I watched a video by Shauna Rapari, who is really, really good at talking about being a mindful consumer. And she talked about other hobbies that you can do. And I realized that I have an obsessive personality. On the positive side of that, it means I'm very hardworking. I'm loyal to a fault. I'm a great listener, and I absolutely will not stop until I get the job done, whatever that is. On the bad side of it, I have 10,000 dresses because I obsess. It meant that I need a new obsession. I need hobbies that are little cost to no cost, that I enjoy. And in the past, I would try to start a new hobby and then give up because I wasn't really recognizing that there's a learning curve to it, and the learning curve made it difficult, frustrating, therefore unpleasant, therefore the reward wasn't there, and I would give up and go right back to shopping. So after listening to Shauna's video, I really, really felt like what I need to do is return to previous hobbies that I have loved in the past, that I already have some skill at, I'm already decently good at, and that I do enjoy, and that don't cost very much, and then build on those. So there was one thing that I used to really, really love. I picked this hobby up in Japan. It's called felt sweets. And you just make little cakes and cupcakes and things out of felt fabric. And I loved it. And I still have all the supplies. So I have made a goal of creating several projects that I'm going to do in my downtime instead of shopping. Fingers crossed that that is successful. But I really think the main key to being successful at anything is just to keep trying, keep working on different strategies, figure out what's going to work for you, and just be consistent. Just stick with it. So that's topic one, and that is all the dresses on this side of the closet. I've kept a couple. This is my collective Atomic Cats. I think it could kind of be Christmassy, so I'm going to keep this one. And my favorite work dress I'm going to keep. Let's work on this side of the closet. And that brings us to topic number 2. Personal style. Fashion is for everyone. Trends, however, that's for the young. I think as I'm actually going to keep this one. This is a work shirt. I think as you begin to get older, you really become less interested in trends. You really begin to see that trendy fashion really is for young people, in that it's sort of here today, gone tomorrow, and when you get older, you need something that not only looks good on you, but is going to last. As you get older, you begin to want to invest in quality pieces. And trendy stuff typically is not quality stuff. You know, fast fashion is such a buzzword right now, but trendy stuff typically is like lower quality because they know it's going to be out by next season. They know that it's typically young people who are buying it and they have less money available. I heard a statistic the other day, and I'm so sorry, I don't remember where I heard it. And it was talking about how the peak for fashion, interest in fashion, tends to decline for women sharply after the age of about 44. Guess how old I'm gonna be next year? 44. And so I was like, oh, I can't imagine myself without a love of fashion. I don't think it means once you turn a certain age that you have less of an interest in fashion. I think that it just means you become more comfortable in your style. Style and fashion are two different things. Personal style really is something that is unique to you. I will say I don't think everybody takes the time to adopt personal style. I think that a lot of people right now are just wearing, like, I'm sorry, jeans and t-shirts, that's not a style. If all you're doing is putting on jeans and t-shirts, that's not a style. That is meeting the minimum requirements for leaving your house without getting ticketed for public indecency. And stretchy pants, I'm going to tell you this right now, I hate stretchy pants. They are not pants. They are to be worn for working out or for being leisurely around your home. If you're wearing stretchy pants out in public, you're pushing that indecency thing. Like, I have seriously seen people wearing these leggings as pants, and there was nothing left to the imagination. So, there's my rant on stretchy pants. But as you get older, if you've taken the time, and you should, you develop a personal style, and you just become comfortable in it, and trends don't mean a lot to you. And so I think that's kind of where I'm getting to be. And I really do feel like, after looking at my budget this year, these higher end dresses are so beautiful. They're not affordable for me. I have purchased far too many of them, and they're too expensive. I probably should only own like one or two, and I own many, many, many of them, and I don't know that I feel like I need any more. That's not to say I won't ever buy one again, but there's got to be a time when you stop. There's got to be a time when you say, I have enough. And I think for me, I'm really at that age where I'm like, enough. While I don't think that people need to dress to the nines every day, I don't think that most people out there, the people that I meet, and I do live in the middle of the country, which is more of a casual environment, most people out there do not feel good about themselves. And I think you have to have some, I think self-confidence and style go hand in hand. I think it takes confidence to dress stylishly, but I also think if you will begin to dress stylishly, you will gain confidence. I see so many people out there, so many women in particular, stop me and say, I love your dress, it's so beautiful, I wish I could wear things like that. We live in a free country. You can if you want to, but what they mean is, I wish I had the confidence to dress that way. I think ultimately, because right now we live in a time, I was watching a video the other day, and again, I'm sorry, I don't remember who said it. This woman's a style expert, and she said, I go over fashion trends every year, and this year is the first time I can say there are none. Everybody's dressing so casually, and they're just continuing to wear the same casual things. There really aren't any trends right now. And that's what I see. I haven't seen any new trends in about 10 years. I think that the COVID extravagant dress trend and cottagecore were probably the last trend that I saw, and that's been like 4 or 5 years ago. And that was really like an internet trend. That's not even something I saw much in my own life. Please excuse all the hangers falling. So I just don't think that style is evolving right now. I think we're at a standstill, and I don't necessarily know that that's a good thing because people don't seem to feel good about themselves. I think a lot of people just feel very schlumpy and unattractive and unworthy. And I'm sorry, but I feel like the way that you dress contributes to how you feel about yourself. And like I said, vice versa. How you feel about yourself contributes to the way you dress. And you can't tell me that somebody who just wakes up in the morning, puts on sweatpants and, you know, in a t-shirt and a hoodie or whatever, feels as confident about themselves, how they look, what they're doing, where they're going, how their life is being lived, as someone who is dressed to the nines. That is just, I think that's just human nature. I think it's just part of knowing yourself, knowing your style, knowing when you look good and accepting when you look good, there's some confidence that comes with that. So that is all the shirts and trousers. Last is going to be the cardigans, and I am really tempted to keep some sweaters because we are going into winter, but we'll see. So all that to say, I don't really care what people wear if what they wear makes them feel good. And I don't think that most people out there do feel good about themselves right now. And that's a problem. That's affecting people's lives in many ways. And it shouldn't, and it doesn't have to. These I'm keeping. These are neutrals that I do wear all the time. This actually is a vintage Jessica McClintock handbag that I found in a flea market for, I think I ended up paying like $5 for this. Is this not adorable? Okay, all of the autumn stuff is basically cleaned out. So now let's start putting the Christmassy stuff in. This collective dress was a recent purchase. It was one of the ones I'd always wanted, but you know, collective went out of business. So I did find one. So this is going to be my Christmas collective shirt dress, because I love their shirt dresses. I feel like this could pass for a Christmas dress. It doesn't want to stay on the hanger, but I feel like it could be a Christmas dress. Just to wrap up topic number 2, the point is dress well, dress for your life. You just get this one life, feel good about yourself, do the small things like putting on something nice. It doesn't have to be a dress, but it definitely doesn't have to be stretchy pants and a gross sweatshirt or jeans and a t-shirt, and you don't have to put greasy hair under a ball cap. Putting on a dress takes as little effort, if not less effort, than putting on jeans and a t-shirt or wiggling into a pair of tight stretchy pants and a sloppy sweatshirt over it. Dressing nice does not take that much effort. It really doesn't. And if it makes you feel good, then it's worth whatever amount of effort that you put into it. It's worth it and then some. Okay, let me grab the winter/Christmas stuff. Since this seasonal capsule is going to cover several holidays, Christmas, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, and I think I'm going to keep it going through March, so I don't really do St. Patrick's Day, but I feel like green is appropriate. I'm trying to give myself a variety of colors, but basically a lot of pink, red, and green. And that is like Valentine's, Christmas, New Year's has a lot of gold and stuff, I know that, but all of those things I feel like kind of are in the same color palette, so I tried to pick things that would fit all of those seasons. And as I was going through everything, I realized I really have a lot of red stuff, and I just, I don't need all of it. So I've gotten out and washed, probably wastefully, a lot of stuff. I just don't think I'm going to put all of it on the shelf. Topic number 3, the final topic while I'm putting all these things away, is going to be shop your closet. And at some point I am going to do like a speed montage where we just kind of get this done because I don't want this video to take forever. If you are looking to cut spending, or if you are looking to, improve your own style, you have to have something in your closet that's nicer than stretchy pants and a sweatshirt. You have to. If you don't, okay, maybe it's time to shop. But if you are looking to dress a little nicer, sometimes it's as simple as, okay, you wear the jeans and t-shirt, but you do your makeup and your hair and you wear jewelry. Start there. Or you wear a nice button-down shirt instead of a t-shirt. Start there. And little changes over time become habits, and they are going to be huge improvements. Small changes, huge improvements in the way you feel about yourself. So I do encourage you to go through your closet, see what you have existing and what you can work with. You don't have to do a huge shopping day overhaul and just get tons of new stuff. And that's coming from me, so you should trust me on this. Recently, actually within the last week or two, I saw this adorable Betsy Johnson strawberry dress pop up. Somebody was wearing it on Instagram, and I had seen it before, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I want a strawberry dress so much. And I told myself no, and I held off. I kind of looked around the thrift sites, and I found a couple my size, my price range, but I went ahead and said no, not right now. And I'm so glad that I did. Because as I was pulling things out to do this winter changeover, I found 2 beautiful dresses covered in strawberries. One I bought on Etsy. This one I made myself from beautiful vintage fabric years ago. And when I make stuff myself, I kind of tend to prioritize it less. But this is a beautiful dress. I love the fabric. So I already have 2. I don't need to go buy a new one. I needed to shop my closet. And I'm so glad that I waited because I would have felt really silly buying a third one when I have these two perfectly lovely dresses. So shop your closet. And yes, I do think strawberries, they're red and green. I think they count for Christmas and are great for winter. I think if you do love fashion, shopping your closet, doing try-ons, putting different outfits together just from what you have is a really good exercise to get into because it really makes your clothes go further. It really shows you their potential. It's the whole reason I started my blog. Was because I wanted a place to show people different ways that I combined outfits. And somewhere along the way, I just got caught up in buying new things too much. But I want to get back to that. Growing up, we did not have a lot of money. My parents were farmers. And I realize now that one thing my mom did is that every season, she rearranged the furniture in our home. And I think people now would be more likely to just like, oh, and this I think is driven by Instagram and TikTok videos where it's like, redecorate with me for every season. We didn't have the money to redecorate, so my mom just rearranged the furniture and made our house look different every season. She felt like it was functional in the sense that in the summertime we weren't in the house more, so we didn't need as much floor space. In the winter we were, and she felt like we needed more room to play since we were going to be in the house more, and she was right. So I think it was wise on her part to recognize that, but it was also very thrifty that she could give us a new looking home every season for free. Taking that same principle and applying it to your wardrobe, to, taking what you have and putting new outfits together, it's the same thing. It's making the most of what you have. It's seeing different combinations, different styles. And a lot of the time, I think if you have the basics and a few trendy pieces or a few timeless pieces in particular, you are going to be able to create lots of outfits that will help keep you a little bit more on trend, help keep you interested in your look and your style, and you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money. And that is exciting to me. So that's what I'm going to be working on in the coming year. Now I think for time's sake, I need to speed this along and just hang up clothes for a bit. Okay, I promised myself that for the dress part, I wouldn't go over 20 dresses. And that's a lot. That's a lot of dresses, probably more than I'm even gonna wear. But I had so many pretty red and green pieces that I really wanted to bring out. So I'm at 10 currently, so I need 10 more. Okay, I'm gonna have to break the rule that I just made for myself. I'm gonna go over 20 because I realized I already have two special occasion dresses over here that I didn't count. But also, this is a dress I wear every year at Christmas time. It's a unique vintage dress and I'm going to wear it, so I may as well put it out. And I wear this for the whole month of December and a little bit in January, and then I put it away again. And this one is a work dress that I'm going to be wearing a lot, so I make the rules, and I've decided to change them. And there's going to be a few that I never wear even once, and they probably should just be given away, but that's all part of the experiment. I'm going to give myself a few extras. This is the jam cake dress I actually bought last year from Selkie for Christmas, but it needs to be taken in, so I have pins in it. I'm going to hang it up. This is going to be my last one, but I'm going to take it down and actually do the alterations on it today. So we've got the tops, we've got the sweaters, we've got the dresses. The last thing is going to be the skirts. As far as skirts go, these are all skirts I've had for a really long time. I wear them every year. This is a burgundy corduroy. This is more like a plaid wool. This is a cotton plaid, but it's like a flannel cotton, so it's a little heavier. And then I don't know what fabric this is, but... And then this one is just a ModCloth plaid skirt I've had forever. 4 skirts is plenty. I definitely usually wear skirts to work, so these are all work appropriate, a lot of neutrals. Okay, so as it currently sits, Thank you for joining me for this changing of the garb video. I really do enjoy making things besides just the unboxing, and I really have been trying to focus more on deeper, richer content. I am wanting to get more from my wardrobe, more from my life, more from my time, and that is really what I want to share with you in these videos. I also just want to reiterate that ultimately for me, I don't care what other people wear. If they are confident and they feel joyful about their lives and about themselves, then I don't care. So honestly, if you feel happy, joyful, confident in jeans and a t-shirt, that's fine. I don't want to take that from anyone. I simply know that how we dress is an outward expression of how we feel about ourselves. And for many people out there, dressing down, it lowers their mood, it lowers their confidence. But if you have something you love, please wear it with my full blessing. I'm not judging anyone, and I honestly don't care what other people wear if they feel good about themselves. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please like and subscribe if you did. I'll leave the links for my blog and my Instagram in the comments as always, and I will see you in the next one.